Good morning, I'm Captain Mel Simpson, and we got blown off the water last night. A cold front came through, so it's a good time to sit down and show you one of my favorite knots. Over the years, I've had guys get on my boat with some of the most incredible knots to tie the butt section to the fly line. The major reason that I came up with this knot was that so that I would have a small transition going through the guides if it needs to go back and forth through the guides, and it's unbreakable. It is the strength of the fly line and the butt section. This knot works on virtually every fly line. I've used it on shooting heads, heavily weighted lines, clear lines, and in tying it on a clear line, there's really no difference at all. I was told that I wouldn't be able to tie it on the new Cortland liquid crystal lines. Well, here it is. So the first thing we're going to do is I have 20-pound hard mason. I like the hard mason because it is hard, it has a hard finish on it, and it'll cut through the coating really fast. So I make a hitch knot or a hitch loop. So it just basically looped a loop in the mono, and then you slide the fly line through it, pull it down tight. It needs to be, you need to pull it down real tight right here so it digs in to the fly line. And then you just simply pull it and it strips the coating off of the fly line. Now, you can use, for the smaller sizes, you could use 16 hard mason. For the larger sizes, this is a 12 weight. I'm using 20 pound. That leader is pretty much wasted now. But so now I've got the coating stripped off, and I'm going to color it with a felt marker so you can see the transition between the fly line and the stripped off part. Just take a felt marker and make it orange so you can see it real well. Now the things you need a tube as small as you can possibly get that will still allow your butt section and the stripped off part to go through the tube at the same time. I need a pair of pliers and some nippers. So I'm using 60-pound mono for a 12 weight. And you're going to tie a basic nail knot using a tube. So I start with doing my nail knot around the tube, and it's a 5-turn nail knot. 2, 3, 4, 5. And like you would do with a nail knot, I feed it back through, but this time I'm feeding it through my tube. And then you start to pull your nail knot down snug from both sides, and then you take the stripped off part and you wrap it 3 times around the butt section, and then you feed it through the tube. And once you have your stripped off part through, then you can pull out the tube. So you have, from the other side, you have the short end of your butt section and the stripped off part of the fly line. Now what you do is pull your knot, your nail knot, down tight, down nice and snug, not real tight, but just snug, making sure it's all together, not crooked. Now the most important part of this knot is that you need to pull the nail knot down to the end of the fly line where the uncoated part starts. Now you can tighten your nail knot down a little bit more. Pretty snug now because you have it exactly where you want it. Now you can take your pliers, because that knot's pretty tight now, and pull the uncoated part down snug. Now what you're doing is you're jamming that uncoated part against the nail knot and against the coated part. So now you have a neat little transition knot. Pull your mono down really tight now. And that's an unbreakable, really small knot. You trim off your butt ends, nice and close. And on a 12 weight, you have that small little knot going through your guides, and it is very strong. It won't break. You can pull on it as hard as you want. Now you can add some maybe super glue to it if you want. I don't think it's necessary. That's a really nice knot.